Good morning, everyone. It's Sarah, and welcome to my live video. Well, good morning. This is Sarah, and I have with me big old Posh Pete today. Look how huge he is. This is Pete. We call him Posh Pete, the Christmas elf, and he is made with blanket yarn instead of regular yarn, and I'm going to tell you about him in just a little bit. We have a lot of things to do today. We're going to discuss what is the third loop, and we're also going to give away the winners of the yarn and the crochet calendar. We'll be announcing that. Then I'm going to show you some new yarn and what we got going on this week with our crochet along. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I tell everybody that this is Sarah. We're doing our live video chat over on the Posh Pooch Designs Facebook page every Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And again, that's Mountain Time because I live south of Denver in a city called Parker. What do y'all think of my Pete? Is that not the funniest thing? Well, let me show you the regular size Pete. This is Posh Pete, the Christmas elf, that we're doing for our winter crochet along. And we've got the pattern all updated, and it's all been retested and ready to go. And the pattern's already on the blog, but I'm doing a video Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to help you put him all together. He's not complicated. He doesn't have a lot of fancy stitches or anything. I think I got some of that fun fur on my nose. Anywho, but it can be a little complicated putting it together. So we did all the videos, and they'll be out one each day. The second video I posted this morning, which is the head and the body portion. Tomorrow we're going to do the hands and the feet. And then the next day we're going to do the fun fur portions. And then on Friday we're going to do the hat. And just make sure everything's put together. And this is the size. They measure about 18 inches. But I had some fun over the weekend, and I thought it would be super fun to make a great big old Posh Pete. And I used just burlap blanket yarn, and I used the 9mm. Oh, see, it's 9. Yes, it's the N that's the 9mm. Now I know when you go and look, there's an N that's a 9 and an N that's a 10. And I decided to go with the 9mm because it's just a little bit smaller, so I could get my stitches just a little bit tighter. Someone did give me a note on YouTube about how to keep the stuffing from coming out between your holes, because as much as we try to stitch those stitches tight, sometimes that stuffing can peek through. And she said get some old nylons that you're not using anymore, or just pick up some cheap ones, and you can stuff the nylon the shape of the whatever you're making and put the stuffing in there, and then put that nylon up inside there. I thought that was a really good idea because you can shape nylons, you know, pantyhose into the shape of the head or the arms, the legs, the body, and it will keep that stuffing in place. I thought that was a really good tip. All right, so good morning, everybody. I see lots of you already in here. There's Michelle and Stacy. There's Rosetta and Crystal. I love the name Rosetta. And something you need to know, my friend, is Rosie, my dog, when we first picked her up, we were going to call her Lily, except for she was a little towards the red side than the picture showed. And she's just a rescue dog that we got. And when we got there, my husband said, we can't call her Lily, we're going to call her Rosetta. And so her real name is Rosetta, but we just call her Rosie, Rosie Bell. So I thought you'd like to know that because it's a beautiful name. All right, back to saying hello to everybody. Crystal and Tammy, Lisa Ann, Joy Bell, Esther, Nicole, Heather, Carol, Stacy, Samantha, Kimberly Coons, Leslie, Kimmy Ann. Let's see. Did I say hello to Tina? Tina Louise. Let's see. Nicole, Sherry Brown, Vicky. Oh, I'm so glad to see so many of you in here. Liz, Teresa. Okay, so before we get started, what I'm going to do is we're going to clink in, and then I'm going to give the winners who won the yarn and the calendar. And then I'm going to do the demonstration on what does that third loop mean and where do I find it, because it can be a little bit complicated unless you know where it's at. I still feel like I have that fun fur on my face, like it's floating in the air. So if I'm going like this, I'm not losing my mind. It's fluffy fun fur floating around. All right, let's everybody clink in and check out my snowman mug. Is that not the cutest thing? I thought he was adorable. I actually got 2 of these and a set of salt and pepper shakers at one of those Santa parties where you exchange all the gifts, and everybody was fighting over this, and I got it at the end of the night because, you know, if you're at the end, you get more opportunity to look at all the gifts and choose. And so I got this set. It's 2 mugs and a salt and pepper shaker, and I bring it out every year, and I've had it for like, let's see, we've lived in Colorado, I think, 8 years, 7.5, 8 years. And so it was before that. So I've had it about 9 years. This was before we moved from Oklahoma. And I'm just drinking good old Folgers today. Sometimes I just need Folgers. All right, are we ready to see who the winners are? All right, now, the first winner is of the calendar. Let me grab it. And I get a lot of questions on where can you buy these, and they're on Amazon. I also saw them online at, I think, Walmart and Target. And then you can also find them at any craft store or any place they sell calendars, like the bookstores. You can find these also because they are a calendar, and you get over 100. I said 1,000 last week, I think, but it's over 100 patterns, and there's extras in there. And yes, some of mine are in here. Are we ready? Boom, boom, boom. That's my drum roll. All right, the winner of the calendar is, and just to let you know, the way that we do the winners is all the names from last week's live video on Facebook and all the names from anybody who commented on last week's video on YouTube are all copy and pasted into a random online thingy. It's called, might be random dot something. Anyway, I have it saved. And all you do is you put all the names in and it just goes bring, and then it picks somebody at random. I don't choose the people. Okay, it's done at random. So the winner of the calendar is Tina Abernathy. Okay, Tina Abernathy won our calendar. All right, and then the winner of the 2 rolls of the Hirschner's Pastry Puff Christmas yarn. And if you want to pick up these I found these at Hirschner's and on Amazon both. And I saw them on eBay, but they were a little bit more expensive than I wanted to pay on eBay. All right, so the winner of the Christmas yarn is Adele Romero. Adele Romero. Isn't that a pretty name, Adele? Adele Romero. So, Tina Abernathy won the calendar. Adele Romero won the I was going to say skeins, cakes of yarn. Now, all you need to do if you're the winner is you either can email me at sach@poshpoochdesigns.com, or you can message me at the Posh Pooch Designs Facebook page. Do not put your shipping address in any of the comments here on YouTube. We don't want people getting your address. You can email it to me, or you can give me a message through Facebook at the Posh Pooch Designs page, your shipping address, okay? Do not post your shipping addresses. All right, those are our winners. All right, I'm going to click over here to our, oh, congratulations. I'm sorry I didn't say that. Congratulations, because I'm very excited to give away stuff. It's super fun. All right. Now, we're going to click over to the top cam, and I was going to show you the puppies because they look really cute, but for some reason my roaming camera isn't working today. So I'm really sorry that I can't show you my puppies. They're all just curled up together. All right, so I got some thick yarn and one of my bigger hooks. This is a K, that's a 6.5 millimeter, and this is a number 6 yarn. And so what I have here, let me move my snowman out of the way so I don't knock it over, is I just made a chain. And I've got the screen pulled in really tight so that you can see the chain. I'm going to take that out for a second. On the top of the chain, and this is just the chain, you have two loops. You have a back loop, which is away from you. You have a front loop, which is facing you. And if you turn your chain over, you'll see there is a loop that's going right down the center. Now on the chain, that's called the back bump. And a lot of people will call that the third loop as well, because they want you to stitch in those stitches in order for the braid or the chain to sit on the top. And I'm going to show you that real quick, and then I will talk about how to do the third loop on a stitch. And so I'm going to make a double crochet. So I put my yarn over my hook, and I'm going to go back here in this back bump. On the chain, sometimes it's called a back bump or the third loop. And what you'll notice happens, let me make a few more, going through that back bump. You'll notice that on the front, you'll have this beautiful chain, and it is really pretty. It's a great little, like if you're making the edge of a blanket or a hat, scarf, it's just a really great technique, and it looks really pretty. All right, I'm going to work across this row. I'm going to go slow. Here's my back bump. I'm just stitching a double crochet. I should have worked from the center of my cake there instead of the side, because I'm having to keep unrolling it. All right, now I want to show you what that looks like. So this is just stitching double crochets in the back bump or the third loop of the chain. And you can see that braid sits right in the front. It's our front and back loop, and it looks like a pretty braid. And I really, really like that. I think it is a great, great technique. Well, what if your pattern says stitch your next row in each double crochet, but in the third loop? Okay, so I'm just going across here just so I have a row to stitch in. All right, so I stitched double crochets in that back bump or third loop of the chain. All right, I'm going to chain 3 just because I'm stitching double crochets. I'm going to turn my work. All right, now your pattern said to stitch in the third loop. Well, where is that silly third loop? All right, so we're going to look at the top of our stitches again. We have a front loop, we have a back loop, and then your third loop is going to be that loop. I'm trying to turn it so you can see it. That's right on the back of the stitch. Okay? Now, when you're stitching in a circle, it's a little more difficult, or in rows I mean, it's a little more difficult to find than if you're stitching in a circle. All right, so here's our row of double crochets, and if you look on the back, there is a row of loops that run underneath those rows of stitches. Okay, so you have a front loop on this side, you have a back loop on this side, and then on the back you have this extra loop right there. And usually when you're stitching in a circle, this is going to be a tight little circle, rather than stitching in the front or the back loop, you're going to go in that loop, and it goes sideways, not up and down. There we go. Okay, the hat's telling you, I'm way off the screen, sorry about that. The hat's telling you to stitch in the third loop. So you're going around. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do it this way just so you can get an idea of what I'm doing here. You joined in the top of your chain 3. Oops, get around there. All right, now we're going to chain 3. And your pattern says for this row, they want you to stitch in that third loop. Okay, so you're looking down and you're saying, where is that pesky third loop? Well, here's your front loop because it's facing you. Here's your back loop because it's facing away. And then right underneath that back loop is another loop right there. And you'll stitch that stitch right there. Front loop, back loop, and here is that third loop right behind or right under that back loop. Okay, now I'm going to flip this out so we can see it from the front. And what happens is you get a braid right there. Okay, and another technique that I used on my mountaintop hat, because you're stitching in rows, is I stitched single crochets in the third loop. So here's the front, here's the back, and then here's that third loop. And by stitching single crochets, you're getting another row of braids on top of that row of braids. And it's really pretty. It just makes a really nice technique. See how there's two braids together? I don't know why I keep pushing forward. So here's your initial row. We stitched in those third loops, and then we have another row. And it's just really pretty. It's a really pretty technique. And whether you're stitching a single, double, or triple, you can always stitch in that third loop if you want that technique of a braid. So I'll stitch a half double crochet in this one. And the only difference is it's going to be a little bit taller of a stitch. And then I can stitch a double crochet in the next one. Okay? And you're going to get that braid effect that lays right on the front of your work. Now, I have never done a stitching in the third loop. I've never done it going in rows. I've only used it, I think that it could probably be done, it's just a little more complicated, but I've always used it when making a hat or a scarf that I'm stitching in the loop where the whole fabric is a loop. It's just a big loop. And like a cowl can be done that way as a big loop. And it's just a really pretty technique. And so that's why I wanted to use the big yarn so I could show you where to find that third loop. On the chain, like I said, it's usually called the back bump. But some people do call it the third loop. And then, of course, when you're stitching in the round, you can use a single crochet, double crochet, triple, half double, and stitch in that third loop and get that beautiful braid that it looks like a braid. It's actually just the two loops around that looks really pretty. Oh, there's Tina. Hi. You won the calendar, my friend. It's a lot of fun for me to give away these things, and it's also fun. I love to give away yarn, but it's also fun to give away these calendars because some of my patterns are in them, and so that's kind of a fun thing. All right, one other thing I wanted to show you is besides having our elf crochet along, and he's crawled off. I don't know where he went. Oh, I threw him on the floor. Is on Friday, we did it or was it Wednesday? I can't remember which day. It was Friday, I believe. We just did a quick vintage pattern for these candy cane holders. They're lots of fun to make. And I like to use them in arrangements on the table for my guests. And then my guests can take one home. And originally, I had gotten one of these. I'm going to tell my age here. When I was in first grade, the school teacher that I had, I think her name was Mrs. Masters, there in Oklahoma, we did a Christmas concert. She gave each one of us a big, fat Santa Claus mug just full of candy, and one of these was in the top of it. And the cover for the candy cane was made from a real thin, white, probably like a number 10 crochet thread. And then she had put a red edge on it. It was so pretty. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to make one of these and put it out there so other people can make it super easy. And they make great gifts. You can tie them onto packages. You can put them on your Christmas tree. But that is just a real fun, simple pattern we put out there. And it has a video that goes with it that you can make. And so these are for my grandkids and for decorating. And then this extra candy cane I'm just going to eat, okay? Because I love peppermint. A lot of people love the pumpkin spice, and it's not my favorite, but I absolutely love peppermint. I think everything should have peppermint in it. Okay, now, another thing I wanted to show you is someone posted online about Lion Brand giving out, not giving out, you being able to order the Santa Claus bags. And so here's one, and the bag is just amazing. Look at the size of this bag. Is that not the cutest thing you've ever seen? Well, I didn't get involved in it the first time, and then someone's like, because I went to get involved in it, and they were out of stock. And then someone's like, they're in stock again. So I went and I ordered some. This is one of the ones I ordered. And I ordered this one is a worsted weight number 4 yarn. And I want to show you, or medium weight, I should say. You get what you get in here. So this one bag, I got these 3 skeins of shawl on a ball. They're absolutely gorgeous. Then I also got these 3 skeins of, let's see, this is called Textures. Check those out. Is that not gorgeous? I have never used this, so this is going to be fun to try that. And then I also got these 3 skeins of Vanna's Choice. And it's like a cream with a fleck in it of brown. I really like that as well. So I got all 6 of those skeins in this huge Santa bag, and I think they were $9.99. And so I also ordered a number 5 weight, I think, or maybe it was number 6 and might have been number 5 and a number 6. And I also ordered those. I was real excited because one of them I got 6, I want to say 6 skeins of the t-shirt yarn, and they're really great. They're like blacks and grays and pinks, and I love all of them. I did get some fun fur in one of them that's pink. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that just yet, but I got some other yarn. I got some homespun, and I ordered 3, and so that was a lot of fun to get in the mail. Originally I told my husband I was going to send it to my daughter for Christmas, but I think I'm gonna get her something else. What would she do with all that yarn, right? Well, if you don't know, my daughter is Elizabeth of Callie's Clips and Crochet Creations, and she does do a lot with yarn because she has her own yarn business as well. So anyway, I thought that was fun. Yeah, I'm going to order them for my daughter, but I'm not going to give them to her. You never know. I just might, you know. All right, now, before we go, because today's video is probably going to be a little bit shorter, I want to once again announce the winners just in case you're clicking in late, okay? So just in case, the calendar winner is Tina Abernathy, and then the winner of these 2 Christmas cakes, head upside down, is Adele Romero. And again, do not post your shipping address in the comments on Facebook or the comments on YouTube. Send me a message through Posh Pooch Designs, or you can email me, ssach@poshpoochdesigns.com, and I'll get your shipping address, okay? Now, you have 1 week to contact me. And I want you to contact me quick, especially this one, because this is Christmas yarn. And there's lots of fun things you can make with this. As I'm telling you, I could not find any other Christmas yarn colors in a cake until I came across this pastry puff from Hirschner's, okay? And those of you wondering, like I said, you can find it on Amazon, on eBay, and at the Hirschner's website, all right? All right, well, that's all I've got for you today. I want to grab my big elf again, because he's amazing, isn't he? I love this little guy, or I should say this big guy. And just in case you're wondering, I'm going to do a blog about how I made him out of the Bernat blanket yarn, and he's 36 inches tall. I measured him this morning. From the tip of his hat to the tip of his toe, he is 36 inches tall. And he's made exactly the same as our small elf, like there's one behind me there in green. He's made exactly the same. The only difference is he's made with blanket yarn, and his face I made with 2 strands of the medium instead of 1, because I didn't have a blanket yarn that was a nice flesh tone, and I like this one. He looks like he's been in the sun a little bit. He's been having fun is what he's been doing. And I gave him a quirky smile because he's ornery. Is this not the funniest thing? I just love it. My husband said, "What did you make that for?" I said, "Because." For me. Talk about an elf on the shelf. I should put him in my window upstairs so I can scare people when they come up to the door. Sorry, I just cracked myself up. Well, anyway, congratulations to the 2 winners. And be sure and get involved in our Winter Crochet Along, which is our elf doll, like this one. Posh Pete And I'm going to be making one that is a girl. With the videos, I'm doing pinks and blues on the elf. And so I have asked people to give me a name. Since this is Posh Pete, I feel like he's looking at me. Let me turn him. I need a name. I was going to call her maybe Posh Penelope or Posh Penny or Posh something. She needs a P name that starts with P like Pete does. Like Posh Patty or something really, really cute. What about Posh Peppermint Patty? Well, that's a Snoopy name. Maybe I shouldn't use that. But anyway, tell me what you think, because I need a name for my girl Christmas elf. Well, everybody, I'm so glad that you tuned in today. Again, congratulations to the winners. I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And Kimmy Ann says, when your husband goes to the bathroom at night, put him on the side of the bed before he gets back in bed. That's awesome. I am going to do that. And then I'm going to tell you what happens. I love that. I was thinking about just setting him on the back of the toilet to scare him. I love putting him in the bed. That's awesome. Oh, you guys are the best. You're just the best. Alrighty, well, I'm going to let you go. We got a busy day today. My granddaughter's going to come over and help me put my Christmas tree up. And if she doesn't get too bored, I may have to finish it myself because it's too big, you know. But anyway, we're going to have a fun day, and I hope that you all have a fun day. And bye from Posh Pete. Thanks for being with me today, everyone. Bye-bye.